What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? All right, this video is just I'm reaching out to some of the older drivers. Electronic logs versus paper logs. Now, when I heard a lot of these people talk about back in the 80s when people used to ingest illegal stimulants in order to go from the East Coast to the West Coast and back, when I hear them say they used to make so much money because they kept 2 logs, that's illegal. When I hear them talk about the 80s and all the stuff that they did and the money they made, a lot of times it involves illegal activities. The only thing with electronic logs is that it holds you accountable for the time that the truck is moving. You know, you still have things like off-duty driving where you can still drive around, go to Walmart, 99-cent store, wherever you want to go. But I don't see a problem with electronic logs. I understand why I have a general understanding of why electronic logs might be a hassle for like owner-operators or something like that. But for people that's coming in on the electronic logs, we are used to electronic logs. I have an app on my phone where I can edit the drive line. So if you still want to lie on your logs, you can still do that. I don't see the problem with electronic logs. You, say for instance, I have a load going from San Diego, California to Fontana, California. All right, usually take 2.5 to 3 hours. Then I get a load from Fontana, California, coming back down to San Diego, California, and go home. Did I technically run that load? On my app, I can say I did not. On paper logs, you can say, no, I was sitting on the 34 while you're still making that money. But a lot of times when I hear some of these older cats talk about all the money they was making back in the day, there was illegal activities going on in order for you to make that money. Now, with this 14-hour rule and different things like that, I'm perfectly fine with, because I think the 14-hour rule, even though we can only drive 11 hours a day, is something to protect us from the companies that will make us drive longer than 11 hours. Hey, the load got to get there. What are you doing? I'm asleep. You need to wake up and drive. You know, well, technically I can. I have to shut down for 10 hours because it's a federal law. Now, if you want that lawsuit, feel free to continue to tell me I need to drive. Matter of fact, send it over to my Qualcomm. Now, depending on your work ethic, you can always park by the receiver or by the shipper. And if you have a Qualcomm or something like that in your truck, if you're going 8 miles an hour or less, you can still slowly get to the dock, slowly bump the dock, and it won't register on your Qualcomm. You know, how do I know that? I heard somebody do that. You know, if you go to a fuel island and you got an app on your phone that's electronic logs, you go to the fuel island, you usually register 15 minutes for fuel, right? Well, technically, you can take 15 minutes off that drive line, put it to on duty, come back up and continue to drive right after you fuel. How do I know that? I heard somebody do that before. You know, so to me, I think you can still make money on electronic logs. You just need to learn how to work your electronic logs and what you can and can't do with your electronic logs. It's a new day, people. It's a new day. And thank you to all the people that used to drive back in the day that was doing illegal activities. Now I got to come in under the guise of all these rules and regulations due to the fact that you guys were doing something that was perceived illegal from people that don't drive trucks. You know, because those are the people that usually make the rules, is the one that ain't even in the truck. Anyway, this is the right brother. To be dope if some of the older YouTubers that are on paper logs or have ran paper logs for a few years can go ahead and tell me the benefits of paper logs versus electronic logs. What's the benefit? What's the factor? What's the money that good? You know? It just seemed easier to lie on electronic logs to me. That's my thing. It's easier to lie on electronic logs. It's easier to lie on paper logs than it is electronic logs. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't like electronic logs, you know. But you got a lot of people that are company drivers. You're a company driver, you really ain't got no choice. But if you're on owner-op, you can always download multiple log apps and run it that way. But you just need to be mindful. Certain states like Colorado will write down your VIN number, son. Write down your VIN number, and then they know the speed limit and the time it take from one way station to another. So if you go into that next way station, they write down your VIN number, and they be like, wait a minute, you know, you're here an hour earlier, so on and so forth. Then you can definitely get hemmed up like that. You know, you just need to be mindful of some of the rules and regulations that these states do and some of the practices that the DOT do in that state. All right, so electronic logs, I have absolutely no problem with electronic logs, but then again, I am a rookie. I don't know no better. Maybe you can tell me better. What's the benefits? What's the difference? What's the deal with paper logs versus electronic logs? It's TRB. Just asking the question. Let me know, enlighten me, and by enlighten me, you're gonna enlighten everybody else that's coming into the trucking game to understand what they're missing out on by not having paper logs. You know, because paper logs is just easier to lie, and if you want to lie, you can still lie on these apps. You know, and thank you for all the rules and regulations that I gotta come into. I'm shooting shots, but in all actuality, I think it'll be a dope semi-conversation to enlighten the people to the benefits of paper logs versus electronic logs. All right, it's TRB, baby. I'm out of here. Peace.